Episode 7 predictions and power rankings coming up for Survivor Second Chance. We got the merge episode this week, which should be really exciting, but I want to let you guys know it's been a long 4 days dealing with Will. Will called me on the phone the other night, pretty much sobbing, like crying into the phone.
I never call you.
He's like crying, like, I don't know, like 4 a.m, just like sobbing, like an ex-girlfriend who got really creepy. He really wants Jeremy to be the MVP this week, and it's like ruining his life that you guys, 5 people voted Ciera, 1 person voted Jeremy, and Willie is so mad about this. Will, defend yourself. I know you're going to start pulling up quotes from me, but I want everybody to know I heard Willie cry at 4 a.m. over Jeremy. Go, Willie.
Wow, you're making this a way bigger deal than it needs to be. I just think that if we were giving it to Woo the week before, that Woo and Jeremy had such similar games, why would we give it to Ciera when we both agreed she made a dumb move? Phil was very specific about this. He says he has 2 quotes saying, and again, the votes came in Ciera. We can override whenever. And I think we never really used the override. But this is one of those cases where I think we should override because Ciera does not deserve MVP. It was a dumb move. I said that last week on the recap. You said it. Your quote is very simple and direct. I think this was a dumb move. Phil would. And then he says, again, I think this is a stupid move to get rid of Wu right before the merge instead of Spencer. So Phil Wood said. And then I said, if you get an opportunity to take out Spencer, you've got to do it. That's not what they did. I think we override here. I think we go Jeremy because what did Wu do in episode, 5? What did Wu do in episode 5 that Jeremy didn't do and more? Like,
okay,
Jeremy had a great episode.
Here's my rebuttal to this. And I know you're not going to agree with anything, but I'm going to say so that the fans know why I'm right and you're wrong here. I do think that the move was bad. I don't agree with the move. But the difference between no. But listen to this. Listen to me. This isn't over because I need to explain to you something here because I know it's very hard to get through your head. The difference between Wu and Jeremy from 1 week to the next, and the difference between Kimmy and Ciera 1 week to the next, and somebody's tweeting at us right now saying that our comments are disabled. So maybe look into that since you're not going to listen to me anyway. But the difference between Wu and Jeremy, and then Kimmy and Ciera. Kimmy got rid of possibly her biggest ally in the game. Monica has said nothing but, I was going to stay with Kimmy. Kimmy was my ally, all this stuff. And Kimmy blindsides her. Yeah, it was a big move. Yeah, it took control. It showed Steven and Jeremy that she was in their power. Hold on. You don't have to talk yet. Yeah, but she voted out somebody who was in her alliance. Ciera weakened somebody who wasn't in her alliance. Ciera has an alliance. And she sees that Savage, Wu, and Abby, yeah, we don't know where Abby actually stood, but they might be tight. So she knows she only has 5 at most. She wants to get rid of somebody who's already throwing her name out there. So she gets rid of Wu knowing that she won't be able to get Abby to vote for Savage. So to secure the numbers, she gets rid of Wu. Now the difference between what Wu and Jeremy did is not much. Jeremy probably did have a better episode than Wu. But Wu had no competition in his episode for who had a better episode. In this episode, Jeremy had Ciera and Kass. I think the move is worse for Kass because she keeps around her number 1 antagonist, but it's an okay move for Ciera because Ciera makes this move, weakening another alliance and not getting rid of somebody in her own alliance.
But didn't we say that, like, the Monica vote, it wasn't that bad of an idea because you have, like, buy-on. You have so many buy-on. Like, if you even smell someone turning and not being buy-on strong, then, yeah, take her out. And Monica, it seemed like they really weren't that tight with Monica. So, I don't know. If you listen to both our recaps, we definitely favored Kimmy's move over Ciera's move. So, to say, okay, Kimmy, you don't get it. We're going to give it to the guy who didn't go to Tribal, but, did really great in challenges, provided fun confessionals. Let's give it to him. Now, last episode, the same thing happened. Ciera is the one who makes the strategic move. We don't agree with it. We think it's a dumb move. We both say it's a dumb move. And then you have a guy like Jeremy who, they're both on my team too. So I'm not just arguing for points. I just think we should be consistent with our MVP voting and to give it to someone who we both said, dumb move. Why are you letting Spencer in this game? If Spencer ends up winning, do you think this was a dumb move? Like maybe that's what we'll decide, the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, if Spencer ends up winning, it's a dumb move. But then again, you have to think about it. If Spencer ends up winning, but Ciera gets fourth place and gets like really far in the game working alongside Spencer, then it's really not a dumb move. It just so happens that at the end of the day, she ends up getting voted out. I don't think that this is – I think that it's a dumb move. But you got to remember, I said it's a dumb move. I also said Wu had a chance to win this game. So, you got to take – I've been wrong before. I mean, I just think that –
But I was right the first time, and I think I'm right this time. I think you should just go and know that I'm right, like all the time.
But I don't think that you're really right here. I mean, first of all, 5 people – we only had a couple of votes for MVP, but 5 people voted Ciera. 1 person voted Jeremy. If you go to – I know you hate when I do this stuff, but if you go to Redmond's website, 54% of the people there voted Ciera. They voted Ciera.
Yeah, I can tell you why. I can tell you why. That's because that was Ciera's first episode of the season. She had not been on the television screen. So people are like, oh, wow, we finally saw something from Ciera. I think I'm going to give her Player of the Week or MVP or all this stuff because we haven't seen anything from her. And we've seen a lot of, other players. But just because you see her and she does something a little bit interesting doesn't mean it was a smart move. And I stand by it. I don't think it's a smart move. We can give it to her. I'm getting the points anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pretend that I gave it to Jeremy, but you don't even look at the damn thing. So yeah, guys, don't tell Will, but the points are going to Ciera. Don't tell him. Okay, first of all, let's figure out this comments thing real quick. Have you figured it out?
I have not. I'm looking. Literally, I'm at the video right now. I'm going to the manager and everything.
Because it does say comments are disabled for me too.
I have no clue. Let me look in here.
Because it never does this.
All right, you start with your number 1 ranking. I won't listen to you.
As always. Well, my number 1, Mr. Runner-up to the MVP himself, I got Jeremy at number 1. I think the merge comes at a good time for him. I think he's got connections on both sides. He's got a connection with the strongest player in that Takeo alliance in Joe. He's got an idol. He has Steven and Kimmy. I think that he has Savage coming back to him now. He might even have Tasha coming back to him now. I think Spencer might lean towards him. I just think Jeremy's in a good spot, and even if he is going to go, he's going to smell it out, and he's going to play his idol and be fine. So I got Jeremy at number 1. Not quite MVP material, but definitely number 1 in my power rankings.
Yeah, I see why you have Jeremy this high. I'm a little worried for him. I think there's going to be 2 bashing alliances coming. Have you seen the preview for this week, Spencer? It's pretty much what Spencer says. There's 2 groups of people. And I think if you're like the head of one of those groups, if you're like the head of the snake, then I think you're going to have, not obviously Jeremy as the idol, but the target is more likely to be on you. So that's why I'm going with Keith number 1. He's in that 5-person alliance. If you're targeting someone, it's not going to be Keith. We also haven't seen enough of Keith for him to go home yet. I got to put him number 1.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think at the end of this episode, Keith's alliance is going to come out on the wrong side of the numbers. I do think Keith's going to survive the episode. I have him a little bit lower down just because I don't want to put him at number 1 because I am really like on the bandwagon here of that Takeo 5 isn't going to do well once the merge hits here. It's too many threats with Ciera, Kass, Wentworth, and Joe. And Joe has too many connections with other people. I think that Kass and Ciera are in a real lot of trouble this week. My number 2, and this is also going to be my eliminator pick, and this one might be a little ballsy, but I mean, now that we've hit the merge, there's no reason to get rid of her. And I got Kimmy number 2. And I just think that if you're going to try to get rid of anybody, you're going to go Jeremy, you're going to go Steven, you go Savage, you go Spencer, Tasha. If somebody's annoying you, you go Kass or Abby, you go Ciera, you go Kimmy is the least threatening other than Kelley Wigglesworth left in this game. I think she's completely safe. I think she can hide behind the big guys in her alliance. I think she's going to be fine, at least not a merge boot. There's no way she ends up being a merge boot.
Yeah, that's probably a good pick. I've already used Kimmy, so I can't use her this week. I haven't put much thought into it. Have I used Wigglesworth?
I don't believe you have. No, you have not.
I haven't. I think I'm going to go with her. I'm going to think on a little bit. I'm looking into this comments thing right now. I have no idea. I mean, I set it up the same way I set up, every time I do the same thing. I have no idea why they're disabled.
It is frustrating, huh?
I don't know. What do we do about this? I mean, I can't spend that much time looking into it because I want to rank the players.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess just sorry about the comments. Can you? I guess tweet at us if you really have stuff. I mean, now our Twitter's gonna blow up. We'll be cool, but I don't know what's going on.
Or if you go on Google Plus, you can I think you can comment there. So sorry about this one. Well, we do have a lot of comments from last week that we need to read. So we'll get to that. And who knows? YouTube sometimes works itself out. Maybe someone will just turn itself back on. I mean, that happens sometimes.
Normally when I refresh the page, it says comments are disabled and then it comes up. But this time it's not coming up. I don't really know what's going on. But if you want to tweet at us at Phil_and_Will, tweet at us. We'll answer them. We got a lot of tweets to already answer. We got a lot of comments from the last video to answer. So we got a bunch to answer. But let's do the power rankings now, and maybe it'll work itself out.
Okay, at number 2, I have Kelley Wentworth. Again, even if that 5 alliance, even if they fall, like you predict, they're not going to come out on top. It's like, who's thinking about targeting Kelley Wentworth? And then on top of that, she has an idol. So she's good to go.
Yeah, I have Kelley Wentworth at number 3. I think she's in a perfect spot right now. Because the thing that you got to remember too with her is her and Spencer were they were trying to work together at the beginning of this game. And yeah, that's been a long time, but Spencer has nowhere to turn right now. Spencer really is a wild card right now because he's not in an alliance, and everybody keeps keeping him on the outskirts, but nobody's letting him completely in. So maybe he goes and joins them and he's a 6th, or maybe him and Wentworth kind of start up their own thing, and nobody knows where Kelley Wigglesworth stands. So maybe that ends up working out too. It'll be interesting to see. But I have her at 3. I mean, the idol is huge right now too.
Right. Let's try to figure out the second alliance, because we have the very definite group of 5. It's Keith, Kelley, Kass, Ciera, and Joe. They seem to be full on board. That seems like a pretty tight group. Who is the other group, and then who are the people in the middle?
In the other group, I have Jeremy, Steve, and Kimmy.
Right.
I have Tasha, which might seem I have Tasha in there. And I have Savage.
Right.
I have Savage. Even though Savage doesn't want to work with Steven, I feel like Jeremy's going to be like, yo, man, work with us. Steven's our 5th or our 6th or whatever it is. I remember last episode, here's another thing I said completely wrong last time. I said Savage is going to be in a lot of trouble and might be the merge boot. I actually think Savage is in a good spot. Because the Takeo Alliance, if it's really being run by Joe likes Savage. And Joe and Savage had something going at the beginning of the game. So maybe Joe and Savage do get along and Savage isn't going to get targeted. I think Savage joins in with Jeremy, Steven, Kimmy, Tasha, and I think it's going to be 5-on-5 with Abby, Spencer, and Wigglesworth in the middle. I think Abby might lean more towards Savage and Tasha just because in the last podcast I said I think she's actually loyal to Tasha, and she didn't want to get rid of Savage. I think she just wanted to get rid of Wu. And I think Spencer and Wigglesworth are going to go the same way together, and I think they're actually going to join up with Jeremy. I think this whole Spencer-Jeremy bonding thing is going to be real.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Spencer rejoining up with, Steven and Jeremy. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, Tasha and Savage are together. The whole Joe thing, though, I think from last week he said it was priority to keep that 5 from the new Takeo tribe. So I don't see him working with Savage. I just don't. I think at this point it's I like to work with this person, I like to work with this person, but it's going to be 2 sides, and you can't kind of have your feet in both. You got to commit to one.
No, it's true. I mean, I just don't think that Savage is going to be the first one targeted. And I also don't think that other side is going to be able to get the numbers on him. I really don't. I think that it's going to turn out to be 8 versus 5. Because I don't think Wigglesworth is playing the game. I think she's just going to kind of float and vote wherever the hell she wants. And I think Spencer.
I like that.
Float and vote. I mean, I really do. I think that's what's going to end up happening. So yeah, I mean, it could play out numerous ways, but that's just what my gut's telling me.
An idea here. If you want to comment on YouTube, go to our recap video and just comment there. Someone just did that. Very smart. The person, clearly a smart person, because they also voted for Jeremy MVP, saying they were convinced.
So they probably thought they were commenting on this video and just commented in the wrong place because they couldn't figure it out. Because, they voted for Jeremy to win.
No, it's because comments are disabled. How are you going to get your comments through? Oh, go to the last video. We're going to read through those. Anyway, that's the solution. Screw Twitter, screw Google+. Let me get this, guys. Energizer 61 Bunny. Great way to use your brain to vote for Jamie and to solve the comment issue. Okay, let's go to number 3. For me, I have Steven at number 3. They set up something big for Steven. And I've said that I've been very not high on his edit, but like it's going to happen. He's going to have some sort of success. You don't build up like him wanting it that badly just to knock him down, because you've knocked him down the whole season already. So the editors are trying to tell a story, and like, you get what I'm saying here? Like, they would not, something is going to come out of this from Steven, like something good.
I think something good is going to come out of it after last week. I have him a little bit lower just because I still fear for him, just because now, like, I know Savage didn't want to work with him at the beginning. There's a lot of Steven enemies still out there, and Steven really hasn't fit in that well with anybody. But I do think that Steven's going to end up placing well in this game. I don't think he's going to end up going this week. I don't have him at 3. I have him way lower than that. It was kind of a crapshoot ranking these people, though.
Yeah, that's also what's happening. And I'm looking at, because I don't know which side's going to win. I don't know who he's even on, which side's really. So I'm picking the people that, if they're like, Steven has been with this Bion alliance. He's been on Bion every single time. He's Bion all the way. If you're going to target someone there, I don't think Steven is your first thought. And I know we're sitting here thinking, oh, he's a fan favorite, huge strategist. What they've seen from Steven is a guy who can't perform at challenges and is kind of like awkward and goofy at camp. Like, they aren't really thinking. I mean, I know he's obviously a threat, and people who have watched the show know that. But if you're out there and you have Joe, Jeremy, Savage, you have Spencer, you have Kass, Ciera, like, Steven, yeah, great player, but he's not the first one on your mind.
Played a long time ago. He played a long time ago, and he's not physical. So you forget quick how well people play the game when it's that long ago. It happens a lot. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'll just do my 4 and 5 right now because they're both kind of worthless to this game right now. And at number 4, I have Keith, and number 5, I have Wigglesworth. Neither of them are going anywhere yet. And if you look at my top 5, I have the 2 people with idols and the 3 people who are the least threatening in this game right now. Keith's not going to win because we haven't seen anything from Keith. Nobody's worried about him as a strategist. Wigglesworth isn't going to win because I don't think anybody even remembers she's still on the island. And then with who did I have? With Kimmy, nobody's thinking that Kimmy's going to win this game. So, I have those 5 like in my top 5 just because I don't know. Why get rid of Wigglesworth or Keith at this point? Neither of them are threatening. Wigglesworth doesn't even have a home on this island right now.
Yeah, I have Kelley Wigglesworth at number 4 because she's going to find herself in the middle, and she's not like kind of stuck on one side. She's not definitely in either alliance, so people are going to be vying for her vote. Swing votes are always, good to rank high in your power ranking because they, end up, being in a swing. They decide he's going to go home. So I totally agree with you there on Kelley Wigglesworth, and then I have Kimmy at 5. So it's like, everything you said. Why would you target these players? The merge boot, I really think it's going to be someone that we've gotten a good amount of screen time so far.
Yeah, and the only one who, without a lot of screen time that it might be, I think would be Ciera, just because she got a huge spike in screen time last week, and she is a threat, and I think she's going to be on the wrong side of the numbers. We'll get to that when we actually get there, right? At number 6, I mean, this is the highest I'll ever have this person ever for the eternity of, like, Survivor, but I have Abi-Maria. I think Abi-Maria is fine. I don't think she's going anywhere this week. She got rid of her mortal enemy in Wu, and now she's back up with Savage and Tasha. I think she might even try to, even if she tries to stir stuff up, people are just going to look at her as like a joke right now. And people haven't been worried about her ruining their game yet, so I don't think anybody's going to be worried about her ruining their game now. And I think Abi-Maria, sadly, I mean, I guess not so sadly, but more sad than it used to be, is going to go deep into this game and maybe even a top 5 finish here.
Yeah, it's pretty lame because, you don't get her out before the merge. There's no reason to get her out after the merge. Now she's everybody's GOAT.
She's Phillip.
She's what?
She's Phillip in Redemption Island.
Yeah. Who's more annoying? I think Phillip's probably more annoying. At least in Caramoan. Yeah.
I mean, in both of their first seasons, I do think both of them improved from their first seasons to their second seasons, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been an Abby fan, so it's just I want her gone. Where am I? I'm at number Six. I have Jeremy at 6. He's got the idol, but man, he could be like a huge blindside going out with an idol in his pocket merge boot. He's got such a good edit so far. This is, when he went out in San Juan del Sur, he had this like string of like really strategic edits, lots of screen time. So I do fear a little bit for him, but you got to think if he sniffs it out, he will play his idol.
Yeah, you would think like Jeremy's going to be – I think Jeremy realizes like what happened last time at San Juan del Sur. He doesn't want that to happen again, and he's going to be even more on his toes now that they're in the individual game, knowing that all he needs is one person to flip and he's in trouble. So I think he's going to be really on his toes. Same thing with Wentworth. I don't think either of them get voted out with an idol in their pocket in this game.
And it seems like you're totally swinging that Takio 5 is going down in flames.
Yeah, I really just think so. I mean, the thing is, if you look at the 5 who are in there, the only one with I guess Wentworth has a good chance to win. Like, she's definitely a front runner to win this game right now. But other than that, it's Kass, and she's even a little bit on the outside. But like Ciera, Keith, and Joe, really, I don't think they can win the game. And I also think like that's just such a threatening alliance. I mean, that's 5. I mean, other than Keith, that's 4 threats and a Keith. And Keith could go to the end and get all the votes just because he's likable. So I think that's a threatening 5-person alliance. And I think the other people, I mean, think about it. The other alliance could be Jeremy, Steven, Savage, Tasha, Spencer, which is like a good 5, and then 3 goats. You know what I mean? So I think that Takeo 5 is really in trouble.
Yeah, I guess my question is, are Kelley Wigglesworth and Spencer, are they – because they've been on the same tribe every step of the way, and they voted against each other when they were on the second Bayon tribe, but that was almost like a respect, like it's one of us tonight. We have to write each other's names down. I don't know. Are they kind of – do you think there's a chance that they're kind of paired up and that they can fall either way? Because maybe Spencer's like, hey, Kass just saved me last week. Ciera, they just saved me. Maybe I do want to vote with them.
I think it could happen, but I also don't think that Wigglesworth is thinking like gameplay really at all. And yes, she might just go. I don't think she's just going to go wherever Spencer tells her to go. I don't know who she's listening to. I don't think she's making her own decisions, but I don't know who she's listening to. And to be honest with you, I don't think Spencer's going to want to align with Kass no matter what. Even though Kass saved him last week, I still don't think Spencer's going to want to align with Kass.
So it makes sense, I think, for Spencer to go with Jeremy, and then I think Wigglesworth is probably closest with Savage. No. Who did she vote with last week? I mean, she voted with Wu and Savage. That's it. So you got to think that she and Savage had a conversation.
I mean, I guess. I really don't know.
You did not hear a peep from her. Like,
yeah, you never hear from her.
Who told her to vote Spencer? It was probably Savage. So she listened to Savage.
But nobody's cluing her in on any blindsides that are going on or anything. You know what I mean? So Wigglesworth is just a person on the island right now.
But she's a vote, so it matters. I mean,
yeah,
she is a vote. It's important.
Yeah, I just think this is going to turn out to be 8-5 or 7-6. But either way, I think that the merge is going to be. I think Takeo is going to send somebody home this week. I don't know. 7. I have Tasha. She's in an all right position. She's definitely threatening to win the game. She's definitely a strong competitor, and people know that. I don't feel 100% safe on Tasha. She was always like in the, she goes from Angkor where they couldn't win anything, and then she goes to that other tribe, and her tribe, the people that she lived with for the longest period of time, there's only 3 of them left. So if that has anything to do with it, she could be in trouble. And because she can win the game, I have her below Abby, but I think Tasha will be okay this week.
I actually really fear for Tasha. I think
really?
she could potentially be the merge boot. She's strong physically. She's great socially and strategically. She started on Bayon, but then had to spend that time away. Jeremy, Steven, Kimmy, they were bonding. And then, that they're pulling in Spencer. I don't know. And she's tight with Savage, I think, but I don't know. She'd be such a good person to get out right now. If you could pick, if you're on that island thinking, man, who do I really want to take out? Tasha is definitely up there. So, the numbers, she seems to be doing fine in the numbers, though. I don't know. Takeo is going to have to pull somebody in. But this leads to my next, I'm at 7 now. I have Spencer. He's in the middle. So, yeah, he has nobody. but that means he's going to get tugged from both sides.
Right where you want to be right now.
Yeah, it's perfect coming in the merge. You don't want to be like the head of the snake, and I mean that's why I kind of fear for Jeremy. And these threats. I mean, I haven't said Abi, Kass, or Ciera just because they are. I mean, where is Abi going to fall? Who knows? It's like all those players can cause so much trouble. You may want to just take one of them out, even though Abby's a GOAT. Maybe if everyone comes together and talks about the tribals and Abi flipped again, like she flipped last week on Savage, so he could say, hey, look, let's get Abi out before she ruins all our games.
Yeah, and I have Spencer at 8, and I'm starting to think like did these survivors make a mistake? And I'm not saying last week. I'm saying week number 2. Is this almost like a Chris Doherty thing from Vanuatu where it's like, if they would have just gotten rid of this guy, he should have been the first boot of that game. And he goes on to win the whole thing. And he was always on the wrong side of the numbers. His alliance was always getting picked off. He never really worked his way in anywhere. And then at the right time, he made the perfect move and hung around just long enough. Do you feel like that's kind of what we're getting from Spencer here, where it's just a bunch of missed opportunities and now he's just going to go on to the end and end up winning?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the term like winner's edit and what it usually entails, like Spencer is giving us everything of a winner's edit. Like even when he doesn't do something right, they try to make him look good. Like last week, they show how Savage says he's a great player. You're too good of a player, all this stuff. But he was completely unaware of what was going on. Like he got single-handedly saved by Kass. So yeah, I just hope they don't make it too obvious if it is the case, because I like Spencer. I want to root for Spencer. But if this becomes a Mike edit, that's my only kind of problem with it.
Yeah. I don't think it'll become like that, though, because I think there's too many people right now. I mean, I was talking about it with like a friend who watches Survivor. Like I always say, I have those. And they were saying like,
you were cheating on me is what you were doing.
Pretty much. They were saying like there's 5 people that they would like to win the game. And then I talked to a different friend, and he was saying completely 2 different people, 3 different people. Like, I feel like that there's a reason to root for everybody on this season right now, except for probably Abi and Wigglesworth. I mean, otherwise, I think that anybody who wins the game, if Keith wins, it's hysterical. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like second chance season and the worst player out there ends up winning. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like right now there's too many people to like for them to just be like, oh, let's ram this edit down your throat that Spencer's going to win the game. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, but look how many people they've had already and that haven't got airtime. Like, we haven't seen much from Keith, Ciera, Joe, Kelley Wigglesworth, even Kimmy. Like, we saw that one episode where she, flipped on Monica. But we've gotten, like, a lot of Spencer about his growth and his change in, like, every episode. So it does worry me a little bit, especially because coming off 30 when it was, like, the most telegraphed win maybe ever.
Yeah, but we still have a lot from Jeremy this season. We have a lot from Wentworth this season. We have a lot from Tasha this season. We've had a lot from Kass this season, and we've had a lot from Savage this season. So I think there's enough people here. You got to remember, last season, the only people we got a lot from were Jen, who goes home, Haley, who goes home right at the merge, and then and I'm just saying Haley because she was getting confessional every episode. She didn't get that much screen time, but she got a confessional, I'm pretty sure, every episode. And then it was Mike, and it was Rodney. And we knew Rodney wasn't going to win. So, like, because everything about Rodney was negative. So, like, I feel like this season there's just so many more people that it's not going to turn into there's 5 people left, and you're sitting there like, wow, only one of these people can win.
Hey, man, I hope. I really hope. If you could pick one person who you want to win the game, who would it be?
Who I want to win?
Yeah, and not confirming your winner pick and making you look good, because I know you.
I wouldn't say Wentworth. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
say
like
Wentworth.
who you actually like. Who you really want to win.
God, I'm still rooting for Savage just because I like him and I always liked him. But right now, I don't have like a clear-cut person I really want to win. Steven won me over last week, but before that, I didn't like him. Spencer, I really like, but I'm on the same board. I'm on board with you. I don't want it to turn into an obvious win. Jeremy, I could totally be okay with winning, and Wentworth, I would be okay with winning. So, there's plenty of people I'm rooting for. I don't really see, one person I really want to win. I will be honest, though, and I think this is going to be unpopular. I don't want Tasha to win. I don't want her to win. I don't know what it is. I just don't want Tasha to win.
Yeah, I don't think Tasha is going to win.
I didn't really like her that much in Cagayan. I thought she was a little overrated. And this season, yeah, she's been good and, all this stuff, but I'm just not a huge Tasha fan. I don't know what it is about her. Something about her just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And she's like the one who's gotten a lot of screen time that I really wouldn't want to see win.
Okay, well, I'll say my number one. If I could pick one person to win, it would be Steven. I mean, it would just be the coolest thing to have him go 5 straight episodes being an idiot and then breaking down, saying he needs to do this, and then just runs through the merge, takes out everybody. That would be my favorite story for the second chance season. Let's go back to the power rankings. I am now where? I lost track on that tangent. Have I said my 8? Okay. My eighth is Abi-Maria, just because she finds herself in the middle, except I have her lower than you because I think people are starting to catch on. It has to come a moment where they go, wait a second. She's flipped every tribal council pretty much. So she's a great GOAT, but that has to hit people's heads. I got Abby at 8.
And I don't know if this is a bold prediction, but even though Abby is the perfect GOAT, I do not think she makes the final 3. I don't think she ends up getting to the final 3 on this season. I think that there's going to be 3 worthy players sitting there at the end this time, as opposed to other seasons where you get the Will or you get the, I don't know, Becky, right? Was that her name? I think it was Becky all the way back in Cook Islands. Whatever. Or was it not Becky? I don't even remember. But I feel like you're going to get 3 worthy players this time who are sitting there at the end, because I think that Survivor did learn from last season that you have to give all of your finalists some sort of storyline. Otherwise, people are just going to sit there and be like, well, Mike wins. And I think Survivor realized last season Worlds Apart was not very popular. Worlds Apart was not that well-liked of a season.
I don't know. I think we have to remember that most people watching the show don't, look at edits, and they just kind of watch it to see what happens. And when the episode ends, that's it. They don't think about it. They just know, it's on next week. And previously on Survivor will keep me updated. I don't need to think about it during the week. And they just watch their TVs and see it unfold. That's most of the people.
Last year, though, with Worlds Apart, I think that when that final 3 came up, nobody was really looking at the edits and everything. But I think everybody sat there, even at final 6, and said, I really want Mike to win this. I want Mike to win. I want Mike to win. I want Mike to win. And whether they realize it or not, that's just because he was rammed down your throat. And there was nobody else to root for here. Here, just me not being able to tell you who I'm really rooting for and talking to other people who do not know who they're really rooting for, I just feel like they're not ramming it down your throat so much.
Yeah, it's yet to be seen, but I understand what you're saying, and there's just more characters on the season that they can spread their time with. Even though I think the players in Worlds Apart who made it to the end, Carolyn was a pretty fun character. We just didn't see enough of her. Tyler was pretty good. We barely saw anything from him. Ciera was actually not that bad. Rodney they could have totally changed his edit. He was a way better player than they made it out. So I kind of blame the editors on kind of dropping the ball with Worlds Apart. And I hope, because we're only a season away from Worlds Apart. I mean, I know they got Ko-Ron going already, but I am, a little bit fearful.
Well, we'll see how the merge hits here, because if this turns into a thing where Kass goes, then Tasha goes, then Jeremy goes, and then you're sitting there with just Spencer, Steven, and Savage, then it's going to be just like Worlds Apart, because that's exactly what happened. Once we hit the merge, we lost 3 of the main contenders from the game, and we were sitting there with just Mike, Tyler was a long shot, and Shireen. And then Shireen goes home the next week, and it was okay, it's got to be Mike or Tyler, and Tyler hasn't gotten any screen time. So,
yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
All right,
my number 9, I have Savage. I just think that getting back together with Jeremy is a good thing, and if he really wants to, I think he could side with Joe and that 5, not realizing he's the number 6, and he could go over there. So I think he's in a good spot. Him and Tasha, I think, will team up, and there'll be a 2-pick there. I don't think anybody's going to be gunning for him this week, really, even though last week I thought completely differently.
Yeah, they set him up for such a big fall last week. That's why I'm kind of I'm a little bit worried. I'm at 9 now. I have Ciera. I know you're worried about Ciera, but I still think she's not going to be the one that they go after. If you're looking at that 5 and you want to take someone out of that 5, it's going to be Joe or Kass, and they can't both win immunity unless it's a female-male split.
Yeah.
Because Joe's the big challenge beast, and then Kass is the big crazy strategist villain. Taking out Ciera, it just wouldn't. Why wouldn't you go for someone else?
Yeah, and my reasoning is in case they do that, because they do that a lot, especially when there's 13 people. So I think that, I mean, I'll just say it. I have Steven at 10, and then my bottom three are Joe, Kass, and Ciera. I'll get to the order. But I think that the three of them are in the most trouble because Joe has a really good chance to win immunity, but if he doesn't win immunity, why would you not get rid of him? Kass, if there is like a female-male thing, the females aren't very good at challenges other than Tasha. I think the challenge they're doing, Tasha did win, but who knows? It's an endurance-type challenge. It's like balancing the ball on the stick. I think that Kass could be okay. And if both of them did win, I think Ciera would be in a lot of trouble. So I think the three of them are definitely in the most trouble going into this episode, though, just because I think they're on the wrong side of the numbers. And they're threats. All three of them are threats to win the game.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I just think, I guess, like last, Worlds Apart when Kelley randomly got that vote, when it's like we said in our prediction episode, why there's no reason to take out Kelley right now.
Yeah.
We both had her, I think, pretty high. Yeah, it could happen with Ciera. I also think Ciera was such a fan favorite on a very recent season. You got to think we're going to see more of her. I don't think you can group her in with like Kimmy and Monica and Kelley Wigglesworth as like, yeah, they'll have not much, and then once their boot episode comes, they'll get a lot, and that's it. I think Ciera. I mean, we did get some of her last week. I just think she's just got to stick around. She's gonna have a bigger role to play.
I hope so.
Me too.
Who do you got at 10?
At 10, I have Savage. I worry about the Savage Tasha duo, just because they were like it's like when someone goes off by themselves with another person, and you're like, what did they do together? You don't even know. Like you're just immediate suspicion just because they were like on that Angkor tribe. Abby's there. She was talking to Kass and Ciera about we're inseparable. That foursome. I don't know if he actually mentioned Tasha in there, but at that tribe swap, he made it very clear that four was very tight. So if people start going, hey, wait a second, Tasha and Savage are like a force to be reckoned with, I can see them maybe targeting one of them.
Yeah, it's true, and I just don't think that anybody's going to think of that because I think everybody's egos are going to get too big at this point, and everybody's going to be so worried about like, oh, let's take out like the head of that alliance, and I don't think Savage and Tasha are at the head of the alliance because they don't have a real alliance. It's just the two of them, and people I guess are assuming Abby. So I see where Savage could go. I mean, I do only have him at number 9, but I think he's going to be all right. I think Savage and Tasha are both going to make it through the episode, and that's why I have my bottom 3 as members of the Takeo Alliance. And the first one I actually have at 11, I have Joe. I have him above the 2 girls because he can win immunity. And I think that Joe with the balance thing, I mean, Joe's good at everything. Keith could probably beat him. Jeremy could probably beat him. But I just feel like Joe's going to end up winning the challenge just because that's what he does. That's what he does best. And he's going to know he's got a huge target on his back hitting the merge. So I think he's going to end up winning the challenge. And plus, Jeremy's probably going to try to defend him a little bit, protect him a little bit.
Yeah, that's my thing with Joe. I actually have him next. I forget what number I'm on, just whenever.
Yeah, we're both at 11, so we both have Joe at 11.
Right. He is such a big target. I don't have him like at the very, very bottom because I think even if he loses a challenge, which likely happens, it's 13 people. Like, yeah, you can be good at challenges. Winning out of 13, that's tough. I think he actually has people he can trust. And then people on the other side of his alliance, like Jeremy, want to keep him around. Even Tasha. Tasha said that. Tasha, Savage, Jeremy have all mentioned, like, I want to keep Joe around because he is such a big threat. He can draw the attention. So, yeah, he could easily go because it is Joe. He's a god. But those are, why he's not very, at least at the bottom.
Yeah. And then my last 2 at 12, I have Kass. 13, I have Ciera. I have Ciera below Kass just because with the blow-up in her screen time last week, I think Ciera has a really good chance to go. Also, Kass has been getting a really good edit, but she did bring out the chaos. And my reason for not putting her all the way at the bottom is because in these previews, it's always like a red herring. And it seemed like they were saying, like, Kass is going to bring out the chaos again. It's going to be her. Maybe it still is. Maybe it's just a really entertaining episode. But I don't know. I feel like Kass might somehow squeak by. Ciera's huge jump in screen time last week puts her at 13 for me.
Okay, I hear you. I have Tasha at 12. I think Tasha would make just a perfect merge boot for this scene. Like we've seen enough for it'd be a fun, like exciting, something unexpected. And I think this season with these players, they can provide something very unexpected. I have Kass at the bottom just because it seems like if you think about what they showed from us, her arc would make so much sense because she started saying like in the very early stage of the game that once the merge hits, I will bring Chaos Kass back, and then all the craziness will happen. And we saw her kind of not be chaotic, and she was changing. She was being nice, making friends. And then last week she started, reverting back to her old ways. That would fit with the theme perfectly. She was changing, doing fine. She reverted back to her old ways and got voted out immediately. It would fit such a great narrative. So from that standpoint and the preview, I think Kass.
And if Kass goes here, who really won the Woo Kass argument? Because neither of them had a chance to win the damn game. We should not have put them in the top 5 if Kass ends up going this week.
I mean, from the editing, Kass was like way, way higher in a contender for editing. I mean, you can look. I haven't looked at the Edgic yet for that episode, but I think if you look at it, her like chart looks more like a winner's edit than Woo's.
I guess. Either way, we both just sucked. Who's your eliminator pick this week before we get into the comments?
I'll go Kelley Wentworth here just because I haven't used her yet, and I think she's going to find herself in the middle. And she could go soon,
Yeah, definitely.
She's one of those players, like, if you're worried about an idol, just vote out Kelley, get the numbers, secure it, lock it down, make sure the vote's going home. That's where I kind of see her, going out.
Yeah.
Which could be this week, but I think it's going to be someone. I really fear for Tasha, just because we've seen a lot. It's got to be someone
big this week.
I think it's going to be someone big, but who knows? Who knows?
All right, let's do Twitter first, just because it's easier, and then we'll go into the comments. I guess on last week's video, and I guess those will be comments from this week's video too. If you joined like late, just comment on that video if you have anything, because we don't know why the comments are disabled.
And some people are commenting on the recap. And then some people are commenting our last predictions. So there are comments everywhere. We'll do our best to kind of sort through them and get them all read.
We'll figure it out. Ravinja Sharma, he's got 4 comments here. Kass for MVP. She orchestrated that tribal council. Can she form a women brigade at the merge? Will it be men versus women thing? She was not MVP. I think that the move was bad for her. I think it was good for Ciera. Do you think it's going to be a men versus women thing at all? Because there is more women than men, I believe.
There is. Maybe if Monica Padilla had stuck around, that could have surfaced. But Kimmy wasn't interested in that earlier. I don't see any reason why she would suddenly change her mind. So I think Kimmy's going to stick with Steven and Jeremy. So no female male yet, at least.
Yep. So sad to see Terry go. One of the saddest moments on Survivor. I want to see him back. Steven is so desperate to take out Joe. Will he ruin his game in the process? I feel Jeremy would turn against Steven. What do you think?
Yeah, but I also think it depends what other people think of Steven. And I don't think they're thinking of him as a threat. And if that's not the case, maybe Jeremy can say, look, Steven's playing hard and other people don't really seem to be targeting him. There's no reason to yet, though. It's so early. It's just so early. He's been with you since day one. Why even?
Yeah. I think that it'll be I don't think Steven's as desperate to get rid of Joe. I mean, they showed him like crying and all that stuff. But I think Steven also is a very smart guy where he just wants to get rid of Joe before it's too late. And I think he realizes it's not at the point where it's too late yet. You know what I mean? Like, Joe's not going to win every immunity challenge. The challenges aren't set up like that anymore. So
they never are.
Yeah. Except for back in the old days when Colby won them all or Terry won them all. Like, it was easier back then.
I don't know. I think even when they change up the challenges, like Mike in Worlds Apart, like, he killed it. And those are
It depends on your competition, too. And this season has competition. The other seasons, I mean, Worlds Apart, once Joe was gone, Mike didn't have anybody to compete against. I mean, Rodney was useless.
I mean, Joe is, yeah, he's good, but it's not like someone asked us, is he the best ever? No.
I mean, season 2, Colby. I mean, you had Ozzy. Terry, even in Panama, was amazing. Like, that guy would have wiped the floor with Joe back then. Seriously. All right, last one from Ravinja Sharma. I strongly feel Savage is going to be the merge boot. He was so confident before Tribal and was completely blown away. When the episode ended, that's what I thought too, but I don't think that anymore. I think that Savage is going to be okay. I think he's got too many friends now that they're together, now that they merged.
Yeah, I don't know. it's 13 people. This is tough. This really is tough. I don't have any like
biggest tribe
prediction.
ever.
Yeah, I have no really. I don't think I'm gonna be right here. Like I don't think Kass is going, but it's like I don't know really who has a more likely chance than her. So why not Kass?
Yeah. Jimmy O'Connor. After sobbing about Wu's exit, I have my new castaway to root for in Steven. Should he separate from Jeremy or stick with him?
I think you stick with them till now. I mean, especially if you're at 13 and you start to turn on people, you got a lot of people to cut down before you get into any sort of final 3 or final 2. I think it's all about timing. Like, when do you make your move? 13's way early, just way too early. I mean, that's the thing with this 13. Like, if 7 people can get together, like, I know we have a lot of wild players, but
very boring 6 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, people are crazy, but this is their second chance. Like this, everyone's playing so hard. The argument to say, look, you don't have to worry about the next 5 tribals. Just vote the same way. Pagong, the other alliance. Like it's very
try to just get the numbers in yours. Try to be in the
it's
top
compelling.
4.
It sounds
and
good.
then all you have to do is vote out one person in your alliance, and you're in the top 3 of second chance. Like, that's a hard argument to fight against.
Yeah, if you're out there and you have 7 people, like, are you thinking about flipping? Obviously, a lot goes on. But I would probably say, actually, I'm going to stick with my 7 here.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those seasons where it's like you don't want to screw yourself out of the game, which is what Kass might have done last week. 55 Mellow 55. Do you think Fishbach gunning for Joe is going to hurt him because Jeremy wants to keep Joe? This is a new question, though. Is it better for Jeremy to keep Fishbach or Joe?
Better for Jeremy to like, in the long run, like, who would he rather go to a final 2 with or final 3 with? Because I think you probably want to go with Joe over, because Joe's going to challenge us, but look at Survivor. Like, Colby got to the final 2 and lost to Tina, who didn't win anything.
Yeah.
So just being good at challenges doesn't like make you just win the game automatically.
Yeah, I think it's probably better for him to keep Joe around because then he's also not going to be the biggest threat on the island. And I think, like we keep saying, I think people forget how good Fishbach really is at this game. And that's why, he's getting this crazy crap edit. But I think people forgot.
If Fishbach gets to the finals and loses, I will be shocked. Like, he's so well-spoken. He'll be able to list off.
And he learned from last time. He's had time to think about it.
A lot of time to think about it.
Yeah,
I'd rather go against Joe at final 2 than Fishbach.
Yeah, probably. And then the last comment from here is it from Mel again. Is it too late for Savage to change his game to get farther, or is there something he could do to extend his life on the show? I think just go and saddle up next to Jeremy, and I think you're going to go far. Get in that big alliance, and then try to get in a final 3 alliance with Jeremy. I think that's your best move.
Wait, who is this?
Savage.
It's not a good idea for anyone to be in a final 3 with Jeremy. I don't think so.
I think Savage, though, has that mindset of I can beat anyone. And I think that's going to be his downfall. He's a little arrogant. And I think that he would just be like, well, I'm going to get to the final 3 now, and I'm going to win it. Kind of like he's not as boneheaded as Scoopin, but Scoopin thought he was going to beat Denise.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I could see it. But I think people like Jeremy a lot, and everyone kind of knows Jeremy is a legitimate threat.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Jeremy can't hide it, and he's got such a good personality, but I think his good personality is what keeps him around a lot. All right. YouTube comments. I actually marked where we left off to make sure we read them all. The first one is really long, so I'll kind of try to
all right, tell me where we are just so I can.
Hirishnat Ragev.
Oh man. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah. It's really long. He put his boot list on here if you guys want to look at that. Here I'll just try to read a little bit of it. Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha getting the winners at it. Jeremy win looks more believable because more than half of the jury is original Bayan. Also, he has more control over the game than Spencer and Tasha and is expected to do so in the future. Spencer might finish second because Tasha might turn into a villainous character and betray people's trust. So according to me, Jeremy wins, Spencer second, Tasha third. I could see that if that's the final 3.
I don't see Spencer losing.
But I think Spencer would win, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Spencer losing in the final 3. Like, he's like a 22-year-old kid. The next oldest person is Ciera, who's 27, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if he were to go out and especially start being just on the bottom, I think it's hard not to vote for Spencer in a final 3. So I don't see Jeremy and Spencer getting there together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And then he goes on to explain what he thinks is going to happen for the rest of the game. It's actually it's insightful, but it's really long. Pretty much what he thinks is Kass is going to be booted next, and that means Spencer will join his old allies in Jeremy, Steven, and Kimmy, and Ciera will be left on the outside after Kass's boot with just Abby, which pretty much is what I'm thinking right now. If Kass goes.
And then Abby goes on to win.
Yeah, that would be so ridiculous. Oh, my God. All right. Jiu-Jitsu. I completely agree with Phil. Sydney Wheeler is by far the hottest and is extremely underrated, not only as a hot babe, but as a Survivor player. She's not that bad.
We'll have to do the podcast at some point. The hottest.
We really will. There's a couple comments on here, I'm pretty sure, about good-looking people. Dwight Dang. A good reason for Kass to vote out Wu over Spencer would be to break the alliance of Savage, Wu, and Abby and make Savage's alliance weak. Then let Spencer fight for his own survival in the game because Spencer has no real alliance with anybody in the game, so he's not a real threat. So Kass has killed 2 birds with 1 stone, in my opinion. Also, Kass's style of playing this game is to never come under anyone's radar as a threat, which Spencer does all the time. So Spencer's an easy target if he doesn't win immunity. Kass is also likely to ask Spencer a favor in return somewhere down the line, even if they don't form a long-lasting alliance, which also takes Kass one step further in the game. So they think Kass actually made the right move. I think Spencer and Kass could never really align.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of Kass seems to be the whole episode. She was so gung ho. It'd be great to get rid of Spencer. Like the first thing she says when I'm mad is, "I got Spencer on my tribe. I didn't want to play with Spencer. I want to put his torch out. All this stuff." Spencer was kind of like, "Yeah, I'll work with Kass." Like he seems kind of. It reminds me of the Giants-Dodgers baseball rivalry. Like I'm a Giants fan and we hate the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers are the worst, the very worst. But Dodger fans are kind of like, I don't like the Giants, but like I don't really care. Like they're just kind of indifferent. So I feel like Spencer is like the Dodgers and Kass is the Giants. And so I think Spencer is open to working with Kass. He obviously did it to save himself, but still he's too big of a threat. I know he doesn't have any allies, but he got 4th place doing that in Cagayan.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He never had an alliance in Cagayan. Adam Levine, which pre-merge was better, Heroes versus Villains or Second Chances?
Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, Heroes versus Villains is the best pre-merge of all time. The only bad thing about that pre-merge is that James got hurt and had to get were forced to pretty much vote him out of the game. Because otherwise, I mean, it sucks to see somebody go out that way. But if you think about what happened in that pre-merge, the first episode was amazing, even though it was just Sugar who went. Stephanie going was amazing. Randy going was amazing. The Ciera boot was fun. I mean, then James, you get Tyson voting himself out. Boston Rob. No. I mean, and then even Courtney and Coach both went pre-merge. Like for Russell to completely turn that game, that was all before the merge. And the last thing we get before the merge is JT handing Russell the idol. I mean, that pre-merge is just iconic. This was a really great pre-merge, but nothing will ever touch the Heroes versus Villains pre-merge.
Yeah, and I don't even think this is like one of like the greatest pre-merges ever. I think I like the pre-merge more because I think it sets up the post-merge game so well with the boot list. Like the people we lost, we didn't lose anyone that I really, really liked. I wasn't going bum. Like darn it. Like I think Varner was great TV, but I'm not like some big Varner fan. So I don't know. I'd have to look at other pre-merges, but it might not even be top 5.
And I think the thing with this pre-merge is, we didn't get much from Keith, we didn't get much from Ciera, we didn't get much from Kimmy, we didn't get much from Wigglesworth, which is 4 people. But if you look at most merges, there's a good 6 people that you don't really know that well, or that you can already just be like, what did we really get from them? I feel like in this season, they've really built up storylines for a lot of the characters. Yeah, they didn't really build one up for those 4. But to leave out 4 out of 13 hitting the merge, that's really not that bad, especially in a season with huge personalities that you really want to get on the screen. So I think that the pre-merge was good, but I think it's because we're so much more invested in the characters this season that makes it seem better than it was.
Exactly, because if you look at the tribal councils, like the very first episode, it was Abby or Vetus. I could have seen it gone either way. Then it was Shireen or Spencer. That was a pretty good one. It could have gone either way. And then who was it? PG, Abby. I was kind of indifferent. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And then the last two have been telegraphed like 100%. Like it was Monica for sure. It was
Still
Wu
a great blindside,
for sure.
Still fun.
Yeah, there's still fun blindsides, but for me, it's like those moments where you don't know. And I say this all the time. Like that's what I want to go into tribal council at the edge of my seat going, I do not know who's going home. It could be anybody. Like the Philippines merge.
Yeah, or the Cagayan merge.
Yeah,
Really?
where you don't know where the chips are going to fall. And in too many episodes, the pre-merge is so short because we're already merging. But in 2 of like the 5 pre-merge episodes, the 6 pre-merge episodes, it was completely telegraphed, and the other ones weren't anything like crazy. So not even a top 5, I don't think, for pre-merge. But it could be still the best season, depending how this merge shakes out.
Yeah. Dylan Peddle has 2 in a row here. Sucks that Terry left the game in that way. He's one of my favorites. One of the ones I wanted to see play the game again. It's great that his son is doing well, though. And then good to see Spencer not go tonight. I want to see more of him and Chaos Kass against each other. I think we're going to get – yeah, I think we're going to get some of that because now they're both fighting for the win, man. And this was the point in Cagayan where Kass really screwed Spencer the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, this – I wouldn't mind if, like, they hog your time, those two, because them together is just – it's the best.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, at least for, like, one episode. You know, that would be all right. Survivor Scholars, is Kass voting out Wu the right decision? I see the blindsiding Wu does split up Wu, Savage, and Abby, but Spencer and Kass probably won't ever have a true trusting alliance. It's probably could never work together. Spencer's a bigger threat physically and dislikes Kass already. So both of them could be the ones downfall later in the game because of revenge. Now Kass presents herself as Chaos Kass again, and now Savage won't trust her anymore. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I
agree with that more than the other one, saying because yes, Savage and Wu are tight, but that's like 2 people. Abby flips at a drop of a hat. Like having 2 isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, they can rejoin with Tasha, but I think you can get Wu at. There's so many points you get Wu out of the game. Just not a threat at all.
All right, let's see here. It's crazy that out of the Julio Lowe, it's crazy that out of the 10 original Takeo members, only 4 of them are left. Abi-Maria, Kelley Wigglesworth, Spencer, and Kelley Wentworth. Let's just see how far into the game the 4 can make it without Bion members picking them off. I think Wentworth and Spencer are going to go far.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about like 10-4. I don't think many people are thinking in those terms. And even if they are, they got to think, wow, well, if we want to, resort to going original Bion versus Takeo, we can literally vote out 5 people and still have the numbers. So it's not on anyone's like immediate thought, man, we need to get the rest of the Takeo people out because there's so few of them.
Yeah. We actually had DM messages on Twitter that we should probably cover right now. I just actually got a reminder from it. They weren't actually sent to just the thing. That's why I missed them. But they were DM'd the other day. It's from Esco. He says, if you had a Heroes versus Villains 2, who would you want to see? Terry as a hero, Troyzen as a villain. Also include winners like Tony, because we haven't had a winner play in a while except for Tina, but wasn't emphasized she was a winner that season. Is there anybody – I guess we can just keep it to this season. Is there anybody from, I guess, like the last couple seasons that you would really want to see if they did a Heroes versus Villains 2? Because I think Terry would almost be a lock with how he went out in this game.
Yeah, I think Terry's a lock. I think Varner – he was just electric.
He would be a villain, 100%. Yeah,
villain for sure. I would love to see Tony play again. The only problem with Tony is that he's going to just have that huge winners target, which is just it's not a lot of fun. The thing I think they should do is really wait for like an all-winner season. I think we need to see it. This is the 31st season. We're going to have 30 different winners at the end of this season because Sandra won twice. That's what – I mean, who wouldn't want to see that season? Like, that is the best. And Jeff has said, like, if they can get enough people and enough interesting winners, he says sometimes winners don't make the most interesting characters, but you need 16 at a minimum.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they should wait, and that adds to another thing where he said it would be possible to see – it would be cool to see more winners, possibly see another double winner. I would love to see somebody be able to pull off what Sandra did because I think it's ridiculously hard. He also said, would you have liked to see PG, Savage, and Wu stick together and vote out Abby and Varner back-to-back, or did you like how it played out with Varner and PG going home?
I would have way rather Abby go home.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I'd rather see PG still sitting there. If Varner was going to go either way, I'd rather that way. And then the last thing is Morgan. He was also commenting on the hot people. He said Morgan from Cagayan and Angie from Philippines are his favorite Survivor babes.
Not my style with those two.
No, me either. Morgan freaked me out. Angie likes cookies, which was cool. But yeah,
I thought Alexis was like the hottest on like the beauty tribe.
Nah,
hotter than
adorable.
Jeffrey was really hot too.
Was adorable.
Yeah, but Alexis was like really, really hot too. Just saying.
No, I agree with you.
I don't want to let her ranking in the game, take away from her beauty.
God, she did cry when she left too. All right, let's do this. Billy Jackson. I listened to some interviews with some players, and they specified it's usually a 3-day cycle where it is day 1 reward, day 2 interview strategy, and day 3 immunity challenge and tribal. Yeah, that was from last episode. We were trying to figure out how this worked out with Terry leaving. Adrian A., I don't understand this comment because I don't watch The Walking Dead, but first Glenn, now Woo. This is a bad week for us Asians. I'm pretty sure that's a Walking Dead thing.
It is, and we might still have hope for Glenn. I'll post the article in the description. I wrote an article about maybe why Glenn might be okay. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, check it out.
Yeah. Jamie Sleeper, MVP SB Ciera. She was creator of The Blind Side of Woo, plus she still has the alliance with Joe Keith, Kass, and Wentworth. Therefore, she wasn't going against any of them, although with her confessionals about starting to play hard, I believe Ciera will strategize herself right out of the alliance and the game. LVP Savage, he talked himself right into the split vote by the Ciera name thing. Why tell Spencer anything? Just vote him out. Yeah, I mean, you just got to ask, hey, who do you think that we should, say we're voting for?
Savage is LVP, right? He got the most LVP votes?
No, actually, I believe that – hang on. It was close between Savage and Kimmy.
Like, all you have to do is throw out Kelley Wigglesworth's name, and you're fine. Like, it wasn't. Yeah. It was a dumb move to throw out Ciera's name, and it's what cost him.
Yeah, no, you're right. It should be Savage. I think Kimmy actually got more votes, but see, I'll override here and lose my points because I do think Savage made a stupid move.
Yeah, I think we said that.
I override it.
Great. I don't even know that was a real. I think I did see multiple Savage votes in here. So
yeah, but there were more. I think there were more Kimmy. I did have Kimmy written down as LVP with like multiple tick marks next to her name. So
well, if that's Zach what you voted for, I don't know.
There weren't that many LVP votes. Zach Perania, what are your guys' last names? Do we answer this, or are we about to get served or something?
They're out there. You can find it pretty easily. Just if you really want to know, it's you can find it pretty easily. That's all I'll say.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I don't want to make it easy.
Yeah, exactly. Jawiyat Dang again. Another reason for Kass to vote out Woo would be that the alliance of 6, Savage, Woo, and Abby were the core alliance, leaving Ciera, Kelley, and Kass on the outs. Kass would be perceived as a slightly bigger threat than Ciera, so after voting out Spencer, she could have easily been the next on the chopping block had the merger not happened. He really thinks that this is a good move by Kass. That's really what this is. Gamer Girl 2330, whose family emergency do you think was more sad, Jenna's or Terry's? And then she puts in, hopefully you guys won't think that you already read this or any newer comments on Sunday. That's like a little dig at us. I feel like I'm insulted. But Terry's was sadder. I think that Jenna's, because Jenna didn't know that something was definitely wrong. She was just kind of going on intuition. I mean, to be woken up at that point in the night with like Jeff saying to you like, hey, like, something bad has happened with your son. He's in the hospital. And like Terry was saying that Jeff didn't know what it was because of like patient doctor confidentiality. So like Terry had no idea what was wrong with his son. And Terry was saying in exit interviews, his son had just gotten his driver's license. So he thought his son got in a car accident. And he really thought like his son was like something bad was going to like happen with that. So I think this is sadder because you just have no idea at all what is going on.
Yeah, and I also think it's probably more sad if it's like your kid too.
Everybody, I mean, most people lose like a parent in their lifetime.
Not every.
Yeah, I mean, like if you live long enough, you're going to lose a parent in your lifetime. Most people don't lose kids.
Exactly, and I think that's why it hits a little harder, just because like I mean, like you hope that you're gonna outlive your parents. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gamer Girl 2330 again. I also don't think there should have been another tribe swap. I don't like when the tribe swaps only lasts one episode. That makes the tribe swap seem so pointless. I'm looking at you, Gabon, and All-Stars. I agree it should have been more than one episode. It should have been a little bit longer, maybe two.
Especially because we're still at 13.
And they're so even.
Yeah, and I love the tribes. I agree here. It makes it seem totally pointless, where it's like you guys were together literally for 3 days. So if you really wanted people to make new bonds and like change things up, then they should be together longer. Because I don't think you think anyone really changed alliances completely because of this new tribe swap. Like no.
I don't think it did enough. Yeah, all it did was really get Wu out of the game.
Yeah, so it's pretty much I agree with Gamer Girl here. It's pointless.
Yeah, Jim Beam has a long spiel about why Ciera is MVP and Kimmy is LVP. I read through it. Pretty much everything with Ciera has already been said. Sorry, Jim Beam. It's just like a lot. And then LVP, I'll read the Kimmy thing here. Joe brought her name up twice to vote out, and it's never good to be targeted by anyone. Not only that, but she lost the ring toss to Abi-Maria of all people. And then her tribe lost reward. She also didn't eat the pig brain and basically gave Wu and the other tribe a free point in the immunity challenge. The optics of that are terrible. She and Tasha also lost another point to Wu and Spencer while trying to eat tarantulas. She was bloody lucky that her tribe got immunity anyway. I do.
Yeah, I mean that is a great argument for Kimmy to be LVP. It's just like but her actions didn't cost her tribe. Like they didn't actually have any results. I can see it either way. I think we can leave it with Kimmy. I just think Savage, like, man, it was such a bad mood to bring up Ciera's name. You have so many, like, I agree. I think that you do need to tell Spencer something because they were friendly together and Spencer really wanted to play with Savage. Obviously, he's going to come up and say, hey, who are we voting for? You can't just look at him and say, I can't tell. Like, then he knows he's on the block and it's Spencer. He's going to play his ass off to make sure it's not him. You don't want that happening. So you do have to lie to Spencer. You really just got to say it's Kelley Wigglesworth. Like, unless that's too hard of a sell, maybe you who else could you say? Maybe Abby. Like, that would make a lot of sense. Like, you want to drop someone's name who isn't original Bayon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you don't want to drop anyone's name. You're supposed to, like, let somebody else bring it up. I mean, the fact that Savage made it such his idea and really just, like, was like, yeah, Ciera, I don't really care what you say. That didn't help his whole game here.
It's a dumb move. Like, it's terrible.
It is a dumb move. Yeah. Gamer Girl 2330, I find Benry underrated the same reason Phil finds Sydney underrated. I'm Benry's biggest fan. He's the hottest survivor, in my opinion. Well, Gamer Girl 2330 is a little dirt squirrel, you know?
Little dirt squirrel. That's classic. I love Benry. Benry was great.
That might be the greatest confessional at the end of an episode. Benry got, like, no airtime in that season. That was, like, one of the worst edited seasons ever.
I'm a fan of Nick Raggo. I just love Fabio.
I tried rewatching it. I didn't like it. But, yeah, Benry's closing words there to Alina were classic. Let's see here. Adam Levine, who do you guys think are locks for a third time playing? I would say Spencer, Kass, Tasha, and Jeremy. Yeah, I would probably say all four of them, plus probably Terry. I think Terry's a lock to play again. And don't be surprised if you see Joe gracing your screens one more time just because he's so damn gorgeous.
And Varner, and I could see Kelley Wentworth if she has a really big season. If Fishbach has a big season, I think the people that make it to the end, you know, they're more likely to come back, or like they get like 5th place or something.
Yeah.
You also skipped a comment from Gamer Girl. Cambodia's actually near Thailand and Malaysia and Vietnam and Laos, a little bit south of China. That's when we were talking about the balut and how balut is kind of all over the place in Asia. Zach Valentine, do you both watch The Walking Dead? If so, would you do a recap of Walking Dead episodes? I watch The Walking Dead. Phil does not. But you can read my articles on The Walking Dead. MVP, Jeremy. Gotta love Zach here. It's making a great vote. Jeremy, because he continues to play to his strategy and it looks like it is working, but he could possibly be in trouble if he waits too long. It is weird how they make it look like Steven and Jeremy are a close pair, yet they are both thinking completely opposite strategies, where Steven wants to take out big threats because he waited too long last time, and Jeremy wants to keep threats in the game to take the target off his own back. And then LVP is Ciera from Zach Valentine. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But, yeah, she stuck to the challenge, and then, you know, why take out Spencer?
Yeah, I think that there's a better argument for Kass to be LVP than Ciera. I think Ciera did what was good for her.
Gotta be
Yeah,
Savage.
no, I think Savage was LVP too. I'm just saying if you're gonna call either Kass or Ciera LVP because like they got rid of Wu instead of Spencer, it'd have to go Kass instead of Ciera.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Peter Rubenstein, not Jeremy, Will, not this week. Def in the long run, but not for week 6. I'm going MVP as Spencer. You already commented on that one.
Yeah,
Peter,
Spencer, no way. No way.
No way. I agree. No way. Let's see here. Peter Rubenstein, Kass is LVP. She's just playing the TV game. The big move she made was not strategic at all, and she was just getting screen time as villain. Though I still love her final 3 chances. This was not a good move by her. I hope my MVP and LVP this week work together and go. But I also love a Jeremy Steven alliance. Could be a fun merge. I think this is definitely going to be a fun merge.
It's going to be a fun merge. This episode is going to be fun. When I was like getting ready to podcast today, like doing my power rankings and looking at the bet list game, which I will update you guys on finally, the prop bets. I started thinking, wait, is Survivor on tonight? I got so excited and realized it was just Sunday. Quite the bummer.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Anthony Beam, Danielle DiLorenzo, hottest girl, also Parvati Shallow. Always had a weakness for Savage, LVP, MVP, I guess, Kass or Ciera for not letting Savage take control. And dude, Parvati's such like an easy pick. Like, come on, have your own thoughts.
Parvati is like
Parvati's so hot.
Parvati's very attractive. I'm not a Danielle fan.
No, her voice annoyed me.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess Isaac Escobar is the guy whose tweets I just read because these are pretty much the same questions. Although he does say my final 3 prediction is Kass, Ciera, and Kelley Wentworth. What do you think? I don't think that's going to happen because I think that alliance is going to be in trouble.
They're like 2 together right now.
Yeah.
So,
where do you guys rewatch seasons? Man, I just try to find them. My friend had a subscription to CBS All Access, so I would watch some on there. Otherwise, just torrent them or find them. I mean, there's dark places on the internet.
Amazon Prime is another great. They have like, I think they have from season 12 to 27. So, if you want to watch One World again, go for it.
Yeah, best season ever. Isaac Escobar again. I feel like you guys hate each other. I mean, we start to.
The hate is real sometimes. When he starts telling me how Ciera's move is great, even though on the podcast he said he was dumb and agreed with me.
I'm like a troll at heart too. So like when Will like really started fighting for it, man, I just could not let him. Like it was just one of those things where it's like, nope. You'll never get this. Like, get out of here.
I don't know. I think people are starting to realize that Jeremy was the MVP.
Probably, but it's too late now, and I control. I'm the scorekeeper, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
I rig it. Amazing Race Baseball. If you guys want to watch Survivor, San Juan del Sur, any other season of Survivor for free, go to watchseries.ag. There you go. That's where you can watch them. John Smith, could this pre-merge rival the one from Heroes vs. Villains? Bootlist is pretty good so far. Bootlist is better than the Heroes vs. Villains Bootlist, in my opinion, but already covered.
That's why it's lamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every vote, I'm like, oh, Peter Abby, all right.
Yeah, we didn't lose a Tom Westman, or I wasn't a huge Stephanie fan, but we didn't lose a Stephanie. We didn't lose a Randy,
or Tyson,
or James. Like, come on. I mean, we lost Boston Rob pre-merge. You lose Coach and Courtney pre-merge. Like, I know, like they were on the jury, but like think about that pre-merge, and then think about who you still had in the game. You had Danielle. You had Candace, like you had Amanda, who, come on, we'd already seen her play twice, and it gets old. Like, I don't know, man. I just that pre-merge. I mean, that could have been the if they reverse that boot list, that's probably the answer to that game. If they reverse that boot list, that's a good one. John Smith, again, right when I start to like Wu, he gets blindsided. Oh well, at least it wasn't Spencer.
Yeah, I agree. I like Wu, but whatever.
LVP Ciera, LVP Kimmy, and you guys said Shireen won't be invited back to return, but Rob Cesarino said that Varner and Shireen will likely return to Survivor. I agree. I am a Shireen fan, and I am not alone. Definitely not alone because Shireen got voted back onto the season. There's a comment to that where Mike Carson says Shireen won't return. Even Jeff Probst is not liking her anymore because of how Vetus went out. You should have seen Twinner when she got voted out. Trust me, she doesn't have close fan support as before, and her bashing of Terry on social media even before the game started. Fans didn't like that either, and she hasn't even reached out to him about his son. The episode when Shireen left and production making her look like a hypocrite for laughing at Abby should tell anyone the show doesn't want her back either.
Yeah, Yeah, there's
all good points.
all those reasons, and the fact that like she's just played twice within the last 2 seasons. Like the people who have played 3 times aren't the players that have like they don't go like season 30, season 31, and then what 35. Like what's
that's not completely true though.
What's like the quickest 3 seasons someone's played?
Russell. You went 19, 20, 22.
Okay, but that's Russell. Like Shireen is no Russell.
Yeah, okay, but Amanda and James went 15, 16, 20. But you kind of got that because if you're thinking heroes, Amanda and James have to be on a heroes tribe. Shireen doesn't have to be on a heroes or a villains tribe.
And, you know, Amanda gets to final tribal council in China, and then they bring her back. James is like a huge fan favorite. Like, got voted out with 2 idols.
Most popular survivor of all time.
Shireen is not like
other than Rupert
on any like what has she done? No. Nothing. Yeah. Like nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to argue with me.
I don't think they're bringing her back. She didn't provide anything. Like she came back, she got 19th place.
Yeah. Nick Peterson, I say LVP goes to Spencer because his edit shows like he was on the outs and he didn't really try to save himself. He did do good at the challenge though. Do you think he was trying or the edit made it seem like it?
I think he thought he was good, and then Kass told him he was like, "Holy crap, okay." So he did try once but he didn't know he was on the bottom. Yeah.
Mike Carson, in this big merge, I think the first person voted out doesn't make the jury. They have done that before. Fans were favorites too. Corinne. Well, I'm saying Shireen and Corinne. Didn't make the jury, even though it was the merge. So whoever gets voted out next episode doesn't go to the jury but goes home. I don't want it to be a final 2 this season because in the final 2, there's always an obvious winner. I think that they learned from the Shireen thing or the Corinne thing, especially with what a mess the reunion of Caramon was. I think that the first boot here does make the jury.
But then you have a 10-person jury for a final 3.
It's going to happen. 10-person jury for a final 3. I think they want, because it's a returning cast and because they were voted in, I think they want to get as much out of every one of them as they possibly can.
Yeah, maybe. I'm a fan of small juries. I'm a fan of final 2s. Talked about that.
I'm a fan of the old school way with the final 2 and a 7-person jury, but it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I could go with 9, but like, man, having 10 or 11, like, what if it was 11 people voting for final 2? Crazy.
That would be insane. Yeah. Hang on. I just refreshed my page. And
I got it. I got Cole Jordan here. Yeah, I got Cole Jordan says, I think MVP is either Ciera or Kass. The move was for sure Ciera's move, but since Kass was the decider, she got all the credit. I said Ciera for MVP. I don't know how Ciera. I think Kass is the one who put herself in the position to be that swing vote. So I feel like if you think this is a good move, you have to give MVP to Kass. You think it's a bad move, you have to give LVP to Kass. I don't know why Ciera keeps coming up again. I really think people are loving Ciera because this is her coming out party of this season. I think that's saying, you know, oh my God, she's on the screen. I love seeing her back. She did something interesting, not necessarily that great of a move.
Yeah, and you skipped Twisty Pops. Do you think the season will top Heroes versus Villains or Cagayan?
I did. I mean, sorry, Twisty Pops.
It could. It'll never top China, but it could top the other 2.
It can. We're sitting in the midst of a season right now that could be the best season of all time because the pre-merge wasn't like incredible, but it did its job. It got us to the merge with the good enough entertainment, and we have so many big characters left. This really could be the best season of all time.
Yeah. Cole Jordan says, what do you think will happen next episode? I feel there's so many lines to go on. Original Bayon versus Takeo, the 3 tribes, the new tribes, previous seasons. I mean, we really covered this where we think that it's going to go.
Right.
We think that Takeo is going to go, and that group with Jeremy, Steven, Kimmy, Savage, Tasha, I think they're going to overtake the obvious 5. Which I kind of hope happens because that alliance of 8 would be so broken where there's like no rhyme or reason to why they're voting together. It's just to get rid of a definite alliance. More interesting if there is going to be a pagonging and they get rid of the other 5. I think it'd be more interesting to watch those people pick each other off because the last person remaining from that Takeo 5 could easily work. These people have huge allegiances to each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you really want to hope. Just you want people not sticking together.
Jimmy O, he says his power rankings, and he has everybody at 13. Let's celebrate an inevitable great episode. I mean, yeah, this was a hard one to put in order. We really looked at the edits for this one because this one really was a hard one to put in order. Energizer 61 Bunny, MVP Jeremy. This is not a pity vote for Willie. Convinced me with his argument for Jeremy last recap. LVP Savage. Yeah, it sounds like a pity vote.
It's not. I mean, it's the truth. If we're giving it to Woo in episode 5.
Hey, man. Hindsight. You shouldn't have given it to Will. Jiu-Jitsu. Do you guys think that Steven will beat Savage and Joe, or the Alphas will win? I think it's going to be a mix. I think Steven's going to go out like 6th or 7th place. He's going to get rid of either Joe or Savage, but he's not going to get rid of both of them.
I just want Steven to win.
Do we have any other comments on this video, or did we ever figure out what was going on with the other video, or do you know where the comments are? Because I don't. You're like the head of this thing.
Look at you admitting that I am the head of this thing.
My name comes first, and I do all the work. But
we have Jiu-Jitsu. Do you guys think this is the week that the Steven versus Savage Joe feud ends?
No.
I think that's the similar. He posted on both.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess people decided, you know what, we can't comment. It's all good because we don't have many new ones on that video. So I think that's
sorry about because that kind of sucks.
I have no idea what happened. I mean, I set it up the same way every time. If anyone has any insight on and then I look through, there's no button that says like enable comments. So
maybe we got like reported or something for being like offensive,
or for just yeah, exactly,
being bad at stuff.
Oh, the boot list. The prop bet because I spent a lot of time today scoring it, so I do want to. I want to read it.
Because Bill lost it.
I did. It's back.
It's back.
Okay. You, Phil, have 4 points, and I have 3. No, you have 5.
Oh.
You have 5. You have 5, and I have 4. So we're both kind of in the mix, but slipping a little bit because we have our first double-digit people after this episode. I'll read the names here. We have AKA Karma Kid, Sarah Harkins, Paula LaFleur, Ryan Lyon, Colton Shaw, Alex Crooks all have 8. Then we have Sarah Christine, Brian Johnson, Dotmius, Moritz Lang all have 9. Aaron Jakes, Karma Kid. Karma Kid doesn't have 8. He has 10, actually. Aaron Jakes and AKA Karma Kid, they have 10. And then Ultra Pulsar has 11. Ultra Pulsar. Very cool name.
That's a cool name. And clearly you know your prop bets. But there's still 13 people. There's going to be a lot coming up now, especially with jury member, and people are going to be getting voted out. And maybe we get somebody who finally has 10 or more confessionals because we still have not hit that yet somehow. Yeah,
10 or more confessionals. We have immunity challenge wins. We have giving up, or we have stepping down for an immunity challenge. Idols to be found, idols to be played. So lots of more bets. Someone's got to hug Jeff, maybe at a potential auction. So, hey, it's this really should be this hopefully should be the best episode of the season.
You would hope, but I mean, it has been a great season so far. So it's there are some episodes where it's like, damn, but you hope that it's going to be amazing, blow your mind. And
last episode was great.
Can it be as good as the Cagayan merge boot though?
Yeah, I definitely think it can. I think this has potential right now, though. If you're looking, it's 13 people. Look at this cast who is still left. It has potential to be the best merge episode of all time.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Cagayan one blows my mind.
Post-merge.
It could. I mean, that's the difference between this season and Heroes versus Villains is the Heroes versus Villains post-merge, not very good. I mean, there was some cool stuff, but the heroes just got picked off one by one, and by the time it got down to Colby and Rupert as the last 2 heroes, you knew they were both screwed because neither of them could win a damn challenge. And that final 3, I mean, I like all 3 of those final 3 players, although I do think that Parvati's overrated. But, I like all 3 of them. Still, though, it's a very underwhelming final 3 from the way that cast started off, So
I don't know. I thought that final 3 was awesome.
Did you? I was underwhelmed.
I was like, Russell probably won't win, but now it's like Sandra or Parvati. Like I could see either of them winning.
Yeah, but
then,
I wasn't a huge fan of Parvati.
I don't know.
I wanted the heroes to win.
Like you had 2 winners sitting there, and you have, the runner-up from the season before, who a lot of people thought should have won. So I do think. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get a final 3 like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
we have no winners on the
final
season.
Three is uninteresting to me. I don't know why. I just didn't think it was that interesting. Maybe because then I don't know. Doesn't matter. I just think that this season, as long as there's a couple blind sides, it's going to be better than a lot of post merges. Because I mean, Micronesia is the one to compare it to. Will it be as good as that one?
Yeah, what we really need right now is we need to go into a final tribal council where it's up in the air. When is the last time you have gone into a final tribal council and said, I don't know who the winner is? Like, I think probably South Pacific. Because, like, you think maybe Coach, it's going to be Coach or Sophie.
It has to be.
Like, you really didn't know if Coach was going to somehow pull that out.
Yeah, and I guess the one, it seemed like Coach was going to pull it out, but I guess the only other one that it would have been, if you guys don't buy into that one, it would have to be the Nicaragua one, which was just such an underwhelming season. But then you have Fabio and Chase, and it turns out to be a 5-4 vote, and Sasha's even sitting there, and it's like, how the hell did that guy get no votes? But that to me was just like who cares about these 3 people sitting here? So that was a little different.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it's got to be South Pacific, but that's crazy because I have not thought about that. Literally, Mike telegraphed. I don't know if you want to go through them. It's just crazy if people don't believe us.
No, you can. I mean, it's if you want, it's Mike, Natalie,
Tony,
Tyson,
Cochran,
Denise, Kim. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, going into those finales, there were other people who could win with the exception of Worlds Apart. Once the final 3 happened, or the final 2 in the Tony case, you knew it was over. So hopefully that doesn't happen this season. Hopefully we get something pretty good.
That is what
I think we will, because there's too many people to root for.
Right. That needs to happen this season, or else it can't be in any top. I guess Cagayan is such a great season. It's just like that final isn't the best. All right,
it's because of the way they got to that final. That's really what it is. It's because of how that final occurred.
So. That's right. Okay. Thank you for listening. Anything else, Phil?
No, I guess we'll see you on Wednesday after the episode.